Someone can't teach you industrial sales if they've never been in the industry.
You're gonna get tips and tricks from our sales lives that you won't get anywhere else.
What I'm trying to get us to be is the biggest industrial sales and marketing agency like in the world. We're not playing for average at all, ever. I don't want any client, if we surveyed them, to be like, yeah, it's good. Like, I want to be like, dude, they're awesome.
What's up, guys? I'm Kyle Milan, and it is Thursday, and it's one of the Thursdays of the month that we talk about industrial sales, manufacturing sales. I'm joined here with
Alex Brown, sales manager.
which camera are we on? We're on that camera. That's me. That's him. So if I point over there, are you going to go over there? Did you just do it? Dang, look at how quick he is. Riley on the black magic. Well, we got a tight shot here. All right. Anyways, distractions. We're here to talk about industrial sales. Those of you that are new to the content, head over to YouTube, subscribe to my channel, turn on notifications, subscribe to MFG Tribe's channel. We post a ton of videos, like 10, 20, 30 a week, all about industrial sales, industrial marketing, what you guys can do to stand out, dominate, blow up your pipeline, etc. But today, specifically, we're going to talk about sales. What is this? Crash course for first-time industrial salespeople. If you're a first-time industrial salesperson, I want you to put what in the comment section? My brain is going.
Raise the roof of the hands or something.
Raise the roof hands? I was going to say something completely different that would probably get me banned from LinkedIn. So if you know what I'm saying.
Maybe the eggplant emoji.
Oh, okay. I was not going to say that. I'm going to say something else, but close. All right. So guys, just put a comment saying that I'm a newbie, I'm a freshie, I'm a fresher, something like that.
Fresh meat.
Fresh meat. Saying something that you're new to the space. And even if you're not new to the space, there's stuff that we're going to cover today in this quick live that will give you guys some validation to what you should be doing. So what's going to happen is we're going to call out these top maybe 5, 6, 7. Alex is going to throw them up on the board. Once we go through all the content, we're going to take a quick break. Riley's going to play some dope-ass video that he or somebody from the team made, and then we'll answer the questions and comments live after that. So let's get into this episode. What do you got for number one?
Number one, you got to understand the industrial buyer's journey.
And write it up. Are we writing it? All right, we're writing it. Remove your "this is a test."
Oh,
this is a test.
Do we have a eraser here?
Yeah, remember it's on the board. Yeah,
right.
I always forget that too.
I always forget.
This is a test. Is that a hot spot? Yeah. That is the hot spot.
Dead center of the board.
Don't right there.
Okay, so right up here. What are we doing?
Number one is understand. What is it?
The industrial buyer's journey.
Industrial buyer's journey. We're getting fancy. We're getting fancy. These are some nice camera angles you got here, Riley. We got 17 cameras on this live right now.
We need 17 cameras.
We do need, with all those video clients we got, we need 17 cameras.
We do. So understanding the industrial buyer's journey, you need to, be really understanding that the industrial sector has many different journeys that, depending on the, potential client that you're talking to, whether that be long sales cycles, whether that be multiple decision makers. And, you need to be focusing on the need for a consultative sales approach, because most of the time, whenever you're coming in, there's going to be multiple decision makers. Maybe the first initial point of contact that you have is an engineer, and he's looking to fulfill a product or a service that he needs, either assistance with, maybe a new product that he's looking to bring in house to make his job a little bit easier, but he's not going to be that final decision maker. There is going to be someone above him. So making sure that you understand the journey that they're going through, whether they are the actual decision maker, bringing in the decision makers as quickly as possible. I think that's one of the things you taught me, pretty quickly on when I first came on is, you need to bring the decision makers into the meeting as fast as possible.
Yeah, because you've got, like, if you break it into categories, you've got influencer. I mean, really the top two, influencers and decision makers, right? And usually from a sales standpoint, people want to go after that decision maker first. Like, no, I want VP's decision maker, VP of engineering, VP of ops, VP of commodity management. I want to go after them. But a lot of times you can't get them. So you have to go through the influencers. And then what do we want to call somebody below an influencer? Cheerleader?
I'd say either a cheerleader. Yeah, I'd say a cheerleader because they're on your team.
Yeah, so you got cheerleaders, influencers, decision makers. But yeah, if you know the decision maker is the one that has to be making the decision, then it just makes common sense to say get them involved in the conversation at whatever step possible. But something that we've seen people mess up is trying to get them in so fast or starting to hound people to get them in. It's like, oh yeah, the so-and-so's decision maker. Well, can I get minutes with them? Can I get time with them? Can I pitch to them? And they're like, no. They're the decision maker, but they just make the decision offline. They're not actually going to be involved in part of the process. So when somebody tells you that, that's like a flag saying, hey, this is the journey that you're gonna have to go through. But this person that signs the check, I'm going to deal with them directly. You will never talk to them. I'm going to deal with them directly. And if that's the case, you have to treat the person that you're dealing with as a decision maker.
As a decision maker, yeah.
Just give them the fuel that they need to be able to push the strategy, the reasons why they should pick your machine, your company to do service, plastics, robotics, whatever, why they should pick you. Give that to them. Make sure they clearly understand it. Let them pass it through to upper management or whoever is the actual decision maker. But yeah, you got to ask the question, who's going to be making the decision on this? You're talking to a buyer, you're talking to an engineer, you ask them right up. Are you going to be the one that's picking the supplier of this? Are you going to be the one that's sourcing this part? Are you going to be the one that's designing this cell for automation? And if it's not, who else should we bring in the conversation so that way everybody's on the same page? Just ask the question.
Yeah, because again, sometimes you might get an influencer that's coming in and trying to run. We've had this before too, where an influencer comes in and if you're not asking the right questions, they tend to run and think that they've got, this is the path that they're going to go. And then they bring their decision maker in and the decision maker goes, nope, this is not what we're actually, doing. So making sure that they understand what they're looking for, as well as that they understand what their decision maker, if they are an influencer. If it's a decision maker and you've already got the decision maker in, in your meeting, you're already speaking with them, you've already got their contact, you're already consistently communicating with them, then you've kind of got a leg up there. Unfortunately, there are those doorkeepers or the gatekeepers that we say that are the influencers that won't let you get to the decision maker because they're technically kind of the decision maker in and of themselves because they're going to be bringing the next decision to the decision maker. So as Kyle said, sometimes you got to treat the influencer as a decision maker, even if they're not.
Yeah. And just understand that it's your job to provide them with the information.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And understand from a time standpoint with that buyer's journey, right? How you're going to sell to them. Some things take long, like Alex said in the beginning, long sales cycle, 12 months, 18 months, 2-3 years. That all depends. So you have to make sure that you are following up with people and understand that buyer's journey, walk them through your process of fact finding to ask questions, offering up a solution, and then giving them pricing, something to sign, make sure they understand the value behind it, asking if they completely are comfortable with it, understand why they should go with you, etc., and then let them run that up the flagpole.
Yeah, and there's that happy medium because if you understand the buyer's journey, there's that happy medium of there is such a thing as too frequent follow-up. We've encountered this with some of the partners that we are fortunately enough to do business with, that some of them are a little too pushy. If you do have a long sales cycle, there is no need to follow up 3 or 4 times a week with the same person. If it is a short sales cycle, maybe, if it's a quick decision that, that most people make, maybe there is a call for that. But if it's a 12, 18 month, sales cycle, there is no point in you reaching out to them multiple times a week, because then you're just going to get annoying. Reaching out multiple times a week for a year, that's over 50 reach outs that you're going to have and this person's going to have, and they're going to, get a little frustrated with the sales aspect because obviously you don't understand their journey because you're pressuring them too much at that point.
Exactly.
But we'll end that one.
All right. Number 2,
mastering product knowledge. I think that's pretty important.
Oh yeah. Product knowledge right up there. Product knowledge. We just talked about that on Tuesday, right, Riley? Man, give it another 6 months. Riley will be able to give these lives. He listens.
It'll
to
be
them.
live with Alex and Riley
Yeah,
instead of
there you go.
Kyle.
Riley will sit here and be like, "What you want to do with your industrial marketing? You got to focus on conversions to deals
And not tracking those vanity metrics.
Not tracking vanity metrics." Yeah,
See, he's
Riley.
already ready.
Riley, why don't you riff for us? Throw the camera on you, and why don't you just talk
Why
about
don't you take
industrial-
this one about understanding product knowledge?
Well, yeah. Camera to Riley. Riley, what was some takeaways you had when I was talking about product knowledge?
So some of the takeaways when you're talking about product knowledge, you said, you have to know a good amount, but you don't want to like know too much. You want them to talk some,
Right.
when they're talking. But you got to know enough that when you show up, you don't sound like an idiot.
Yeah.
You know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the rule is don't. So we talked about this on Tuesday. Sell solutions, not spec sheets. Right. Don't show up and throw up. And 70% of the time to 80% of the time, they should be talking. I mean, that's basically it. So you need to have product knowledge. So like Riley said, you don't sound like an idiot. But a lot of times in this industrial stuff, like you're not going to know it until you're in it. Like I could teach Alex when he first came here what we do. But you know how he learned it the best? He was a project manager, account manager, doing it for clients every single day. And so he was in it. So he knew it better than any salesperson I could bring in because he was managing the clients, managing the workers, managing people producing the stuff that we do, reporting on a monthly basis. So then for him to go into sales is the next best step because he knows the product knowledge of what we sell, why we sell it. And then from there can pitch it to people and ask the right questions. So important, but also not more important than knowing how to sell.
Yeah, and you also got to have the deep knowledge of the specific problems that your product or service is going to solve for the different industries. No matter what, even outside of industrial, you should be doing this. You should know the specific problems that your service or product can address. And so you know what kind of clientele that you're going to go after, and you're going to be able to answer their pushbacks. You're going to be able to address their specification problems. You're going to be able to really speak and problem solve for them, because that's what most people are coming in. When you're a sales guy, when you're dealing with somebody, you're there to solve their problem. You need to think about it that way, not think about them necessarily as a paycheck. You need to think about it as, I'm here to solve this person's problem. And one of the good things about me solving their problem, and it's a side thing, is that, I get some commission. As sales guys, we all know that. But it's really important, again, to address those problems and make sure that they understand that your product and service can solve them.
Yeah. I put it in the comment section. Riley's going to throw it up on the screen. It sums it up. You just got to know enough to be dangerous. But if you guys are sales managers and you're not new to industrial sales and you're looking for somebody new to your team, do not just focus on people with the most amount of knowledge, because that will fail you. I have hired so many salespeople in industrial, worked at places that hired people that are like, they're the smartest engineer, put them in sales. They could talk to customers. They're outgoing. They miss all the cues for selling. They don't know how to sell. I would rather take somebody that has no product knowledge, but is naturally good at selling, and teach them the product knowledge and then mold them in a sales standpoint, than take somebody that comes in and is like, I already know everything about your product, but I don't know how to sell. It's just harder to do.
Yeah.
So what's number 3?
Build trust through expertise. It kind of ties back into the product knowledge, but I think that there's another avenue that we can address when it comes to this. And I think that a lot of people don't really utilize this because, sometimes they're not utilizing video. Video is a perfect example for you to show your expertise.
Yep. Put an L before that D.
Yeah, that might help. Right? Build
trust.
Oh no, see, I'm doing trust here because you get distracted.
Build
trust. Build trust.
Trust is important.
Build trust.
Yeah. So if you're new to selling, if you're new to industrial, if you're new to the environment, general sales rule, you can't close anybody if they don't trust you. So the goal of sales is to build trust. How do you build trust? You ask questions, you listen to the answer. That's kind of key. And then you offer up a solution. And you need to do it in a way to build the trust, to get them to understand, yes, this person can solve my problems. It's really that simple. The way to do that can be with technical knowledge. It can be with understanding the buyer's journey, right? If you don't know the buyer's journey and you're just hounding me like I'm the one signing when I've told you that I'm not the one signing, and you hound me, then I'm not going to trust you at all because I'm going to get annoyed. And if I get annoyed, I'm going to be like, I don't like this person. If I don't like somebody, I'm not going to trust them. Right? This isn't life or death. So, yeah, building trust. You can't close a deal without trust. Trust is are they trusting that does not matter what you're selling. With Mr. Drinkwater selling machining services, presses, equipment, robotics, plastics, does not matter. If they don't trust you, they're not going to buy from you. They're not going to trust you with their spend, even if it's $1,000 to make 50 parts. That does not matter. They have to trust you.
And sometimes, we do it for our clients a lot. We do it for a good amount of our clients. Sometimes you have to build that trust or prove that trust sometimes by doing, when I say some things for free, providing some value to them, giving them something they can utilize, whether it be, some of our clients have, calculators on their website, whatever it might be that you can offer them some sort of value to again, prove the point that you are an expert in the space and that you are very knowledgeable on it. Everybody is there and would love to have something that'll help them, getting a freebie of something, getting not necessarily, again, you don't have to give them a free product or a free service that you have to offer, but, adding a little bit of extra in your sales pitch. I use me, for example, when it comes to some of the pitches that I do. If I see something that's evident, I'll do a little bit of digging and bring that to my potential, whether it be my discovery call or send it to them in an email, or sometimes I get with Kyle. And when we're discussing, some of our prospects, he realizes that, hey, this is a glaring issue. Did they bring this up? And he'll ask the question, did they happen to mention this? And I go, actually, no, they didn't. Hey, we should bring this to them. And when you bring them something and you bring something to their attention, whether that be your product can fix this problem maybe that they didn't bring up that that they have, or your service can help them accomplish this that maybe they didn't bring up, they're more willing and have a higher likelihood of probably signing and doing business with you because you provided that value to them before they even paid you.
Yeah. And so the trust doesn't just happen after you talk to them, like at length. Like the trust could happen in the first 5 minutes. If I'm talking to Alex and he asks me a question and I'm like, hey, all I really want you to look at is this. And then Alex is like, okay, sounds good. And he takes a note on that. But then once it's his turn to talk, he talks about like everything else but that. Well, I'm going to trust that he's not listening to me. And I'm going to be like, okay, well, if he's not listening to me and he's trying to sell me on something, well, what does that do for the rest of the team, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the rest of the team doesn't listen when people talk. So it starts from that initial conversation. You ask questions. So when Alex talks to people and they're like, hey, we'd love to have you guys do our marketing, but we've been burned in the past and we've worked with numerous agencies and we work with these guys and everybody says they can do it, but nobody does anything. Then that's when we say, okay, understand the situation. Let's take a step back. Let's walk before we run. Let's do a couple, like, did they mention this? Did they mention that? Here's some things that we, like Alex says, offer up for free: audits, strategies, analysis. Hey, these things are issues. And if need be, we'll baby crawl with a client. If they're a good fit, because we're very selective on who we do business with, if they're a good fit, we'll be like, hey, we're just going to do this one small little thing, maybe for a short period of time to get you to understand that we know what we're doing, and then we can open it up. So no different than you guys. You don't have to go in, like Drinkwater doesn't have to go in and say, I want to take over all your machining. He can say, let me just make one part from you, like 5 pieces of one part. Send me the model. Let me machine it. I'll give it to you for free, or I'll give it to you at cost of material, just to prove that we have the highest quality, or we can make those components for you. And you throw that out there. Sometimes they'll take it, but sometimes they'll be like, no, I appreciate the offer, but I want you to be paid. I want to do the whole thing. So it just goes together. Just building trust that you're a good person and you're going to do the right thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's number 5?
Leverage digital tools and platforms.
I'm one of digital tools and platforms. Man, Riley, you leaving that bullet point up there. I'm just teasing you. Digital tools and platforms.
Who knows what people are tuning in?
That's right. Riley, Mr. Production. Riley's got some fancy production we're gonna start doing, yeah?
Yeah.
For a show?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna talk about it. I posted about it on Friday. But that's all you're gonna get. Go ahead, Alex.
We might need to see if we're on the same page.
The show that you're like, dude, I'd love to do that show.
Okay.
The show that we're bringing back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Riley's sitting over there agreeing.
No, I know.
He knows now. He knows now. It's that after hour show.
The after hours.
You know what I'm saying?
MFG Tribe After Dark.
After dark.
So obviously, Kyle and I, very big, promoters of utilizing a CRM system. I honestly, even to today, we have clients coming in that are saying that they're using Excel spreadsheets And every time we have somebody that's coming in, I mean, yes, an Excel spreadsheet is better than nothing, but I do not know how anybody with over 100, potential contacts is able to keep track of anything in an Excel spreadsheet. I don't know how they are able to even look at the spreadsheet and go, okay, what am I going to do next? I would just get overwhelmed. And I know that some people that works for and they do a completely fine job at it, but I don't think that works for most. So utilizing these digital tools, using a CRM system like HubSpot, using LinkedIn Sales Nav and industry specific tools to identify, track, and nurture leads effectively is something that you guys, as you guys are coming in, should be really looking for. If you guys are interviewing for, potential job with an industrial, ask them what kind of CRM system do you use? Ask them what kind of tools do they leverage? Because if they're not using or utilizing these tools, you guys are going to be, at a disadvantage already from the companies that are. Because we utilize them, and when we're, setting up HubSpot or any Zoho, Salesforce, whatever CRM system that our clients come in and want to utilize, and we're sitting there and setting it up, especially the ones that go from no CRM to CRM system, about 6 months in, most of them come in and go, I don't even know how we did this without a CRM system. Even if it is a basic CRM system like Zoho, I guess Zoho isn't a basic CRM system, but
Zoho's a basic bitch.
Okay.
I'm sorry if you're using Zoho, but she's not somebody I want to take to parties with.
Yeah, Zoho, being one of the more basic ones, even if it is on that one, it is better than nothing. It is better. It is a good starting point. You're not going to be able to grow, obviously, as much as some of the big boys, the bigger CRM systems. But if you only have a certain amount of money that you can spend, having some sort of CRM system in place for your sales team, whether you be a sales manager, whether you are a sales director, a CEO, and you're sitting here listening to this, if you guys don't have one of these CRM systems implemented, you are putting your sales team at a disadvantage. There's a reason why they're out there, and there's a reason why they're so effective. And I know that industrial, has a little bit of a wariness when it comes to signing up for these technology, based softwares, but it is really important. And you will understand if you talk to anybody that utilizes CRM. And I know everybody out there in the space at least has one acquaintance, one contact, one connect that is utilizing a CRM service. I want you to ask them. The biggest complaint that your sales guy is going to have is that I actually have to put data in, but that is something that once they understand that putting that data in actually leads to higher close rates, leads to more success, leads to your pipeline being fuller because you're not letting things slip through the crack. If I could teach you guys anything, if Kyle and I could teach you guys anything, it is utilizing the software that's out there, utilizing LinkedIn, utilizing the CRM services, utilizing, Zoom info, whatever it might be. Those services are out there to assist you guys. And if you think that you are a strong enough sales guy to sit there and not utilize any of these, I challenge you. I challenge every single one of you to sit there, and an average sales guy can out hustle you because he's got his stuff organized. He's got his strategy developed. He's got his notes in the correct area. Tasks are set. Things are not falling through the cracks. And guess what? Those guys are going to be the ones that are going to come and take your business from you because they're organized, because they're following up, because they keep their notes in place in their CRM system, because their contacts feel that they are supported and they're being cared for and they're being touched and followed up with at the appropriate times.
I don't know what I'm supposed to add on top of that. Alex did what he said.
Yeah. Well,
you got to have tools. It just efficiency, right? Like I've said it before, we all got 24 hours in a day. It's what you get done within those 24 hours. It's going to separate you from everybody else. If you can get more done in 1 hour than somebody else, and you're both in sales and you're both working for competing companies, you're going to win.
Yeah.
Right. If Alex is going up against our competitors, and our competitors are doing like massive email marketing, geofencing, retargeting, social, et cetera, and then Alex is like, no, man, I'm just doing cold calls.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to win.
Yeah.
So they're organized, they're efficient, they're doing more with smaller amount of time. It's just better. So be open to using tools. If you're new to industrial sales, you're 100% open, but your bosses aren't. And that's where you have to try and send them back to us and be like, well, these guys said that we should use this because it's way better.
Yeah. And, and a lot of these tools aren't necessarily a huge expenditure. I would say probably the CRM system would probably be the biggest expenditure for especially for sales, I would assume. When some of these like LinkedIn, if your boss is not willing, or if your manager, whoever it is not willing to sign you up for a LinkedIn sales navigator, go do it yourself. I promise you it'll pay you back. One deal will pay for your lifetime of LinkedIn sales nav. If you sign one deal off of LinkedIn, go out there and be aggressive. Go out there and be the sales guy that's paying for his own LinkedIn sales nav. And I know nobody wants to do that, but if you look at some of the, the main sales influencers that are out there, they're paying assistants to do stuff for them. So why don't you, take a leaf out of their book and go, hey, this CRM system, this LinkedIn is a mini assistant that's going to help me to take it to that next step.
But bam, Alex said it, so it must be true. Do it.
All right, next
Don't
one.
question it.
This one is one of those that we always are, talking about to a certain extent, and that's the networking skills. Is developing your guys' networking skills, making sure that you guys are out there, attending associations. Most of the companies, most industry are out there, at least part of one association. And if you're not, maybe that's something that you should bring, as an idea to your, manager, to your CEO, to your owner, whoever it might be, that being a part of an association is really important because it will increase your networking skills. You'll be able to talk to people within the industry. You'll learn, you'll have product knowledge on things that you're not even necessarily associated with, that you can speak to, that maybe your competitor has. You're able to talk to somebody that maybe will utilize your competitor at one point because you're networking with them, and they're going to give you those deep, dark secrets of your competitor. As a sales guy, that is a huge plus because their negatives at that point.
Yeah, what I used to do is I'll still tell industrial people this: become best friends with the vendors, the suppliers. And so what I mean by that is you make something. Now, if you're on the product side, maybe less, but the services side, whether it's integration, etc., become best friends with the people supplying you the raw materials or components to help build whatever it is that you do or make whatever you do, because they are all in all of your competitors. So I used to become best friends. So I was in plastics, right? And so I used to become best friends with the plastic distributors and the plastic houses. So people that are selling the raw resin, and they were in all of my competitors, selling them the same stuff, making different products for different people, etc. But then they were also in the OEM. So if ABC company spends $20 million on injection molded products or $5 million on machine components, they have a supply chain of people that are making those parts for them, but they're buying their material or speccing out their material from the distributor or the manufacturer of the raw material, right? So the plastics guys were going into the OEMs. They were learning about projects, learning about updates, dealing with pretty similar people that I was dealing with, to where when they would hear something at the people I'm trying to go after and become a client or have them become a client, they would let me know on the side, hey, I was just at ABC company, want to let you know that project that you guys are working on looks like it's going to close next week, or looks like it got delayed. Or I'd be like, hey, you don't have to tell me specifics because I know you're just at Joe's shop down the street or in a different state, but are they busy? Because we're swamped. Are they swamped too? And they'd be like, no, dude, they're dead. Well, I know it's not the economy because everybody's busy, so there must be some bad stuff. Now, I wouldn't go and take that information and share it with anybody, with the exception of the owners. But yeah, you gotta get the network of those suppliers. Those guys have the keys to the castle of so much information. Don't be loose-lipped about it, but become friends with them, like genuinely friends with them. And because you guys are working in the same industry, it just makes sense. But they'll throw you some things here and there as long as you take care of them back, right? I used to say, hey, I don't like this guy or this company that's supplying this material. I want you to take it over. What can I do to help you make that happen, build a case for it, and try and get them some business too.
Yeah.
But what does Cardone say? Cardone says your net worth is your network.
Yeah.
And it's true.
Yeah.
It's all about who you know, not what you know. If you know the right people, good things can happen, or you can make things happen faster.
And sometimes those people that are the most knowledgeable are sometimes the quietest people. We have some of our clients. We actually have one of our clients that we just signed here that, when I first was initially discussing, I knew he was very, knowledgeable in the space. He's the owner, CEO of the company, founded the company 30 plus years ago, has been in the space, in the metal space for 40 plus years. And, when I'm speaking to him, I can obviously tell that he is very knowledgeable in the space, but the more I get to know him, the more I realize that he is an integral part of the space. If you probably dropped his name with anybody in the space, they're going to know who he is. They're going to know that he is one of the most knowledgeable individuals, and he's the most quiet. He's not sitting there tooting his horn, on LinkedIn. I mean, it's good that you are, if you are knowledgeable. He's older, so he's a part of that generation that isn't going to toot his horn, but sometimes paying attention to those quiet ones and asking those questions, you'll really be surprised on how much there is so much industrial knowledge in industrial when you start attending, because once people get in industrial, they tend not to leave, funnily enough, whether it be sales, whether you be a, engineer, whatever it is. Once you get in it, you tend to stay.
Yeah. And that's the key, is getting those young kids in it, which is what everybody's trying to do here, which maybe that secret show that we've got going on will help too.
Yeah.
All right. Number
Final
six.
one.
Final one.
Follow-up
Final.
strategy and persistence.
All right.
I feel like that's a good one to close on.
Money's in the where do you make the money, Riley?
Money's in the follow-up.
That's right. Riley's gonna be out there selling. He's gonna be on the corner selling himself. Telling people, hey, money's in the follow-up. You guys looking to buy? Because the money's in the follow-up. Once they say no, it doesn't mean no. It just means not right now, or not this moment.
It's not persistence, it's persistence. This is why I'm not an English major. It's why I'm a finance major. Those numbers, I could do it.
Is it tense?
Yeah, persistence.
Oh.
Those persistence.
Riley's smart. He knows how to spell. I don't. I just use computers. I use number 4, digital tools and platforms to spell for me.
Spell check. So you guys, we talk about it, the money is in the follow-up, the closing is in the follow-up. You guys need to understand, touching back base up here and understanding industrial buyer's journey. You need to understand when your touch point should be, when your follow-up should be. If you have a longer sales cycle, again, don't be hitting them up 2-3 times a week. Once a week is, still a little aggressive if you've got a 12 or 13 month, sales cycle, but making sure that when you do reach out, you're not just, hey, what's up? What's the deal? What's the plan? Anything new? Because, and a lot of the times with these people or with these clients or potential clients that do have a longer sales cycle, usually they'll come to discovery call. They'll let you know, hey, we're looking to make this decision, end of year, 2025, whatever it might be. You can take that and develop a strategy based off of that. If they're going, hey, we're going to interview you, we're going to interview multiple other, machinery places that make presses, that, CNC machine shops, products, services, whatever they're interviewing. They tell you, hey, over the next 3 to 4 months, we're going to be interviewing, competitors of yours. You might be the first, you might be the last, where they're like, hey, we've interviewed competitors and you're one of our last competitors. You need to take that information and you need to create a follow-up strategy for each individual client that you have. Because a follow-up strategy is not just going to work for everybody. The same follow-up strategy, I mean, yes, you should have a loose, like, hey, I do it once a week. I'm checking in with my clients once a week, seeing if they have any questions, see if they have any concerns. Not, again, being pushy, like, hey, when are you going to sign the proposal? Hey, you going to sign the proposal this week? Those kind of things. Touching back, making sure that they understand what the services that we have to offer, making sure that they're comfortable. If they have any questions, making sure that I'm addressing those concerns. But you need to develop a form of follow-up strategy that is very unique to each client that you're trying to follow up with. Because you, as a sales guy, if you're reading body language, you're going to know how they are. If you're asking the right questions, you're going to know when they're making this decision. If it's January 2024 and they go, hey, we're not making this decision until January 2025, so they've got a year's worth of decision making that they're going to be doing because they're evaluating the product or the service that they're trying to purchase. Make sure that if you have something valuable, that could be a follow-up right there. Make sure that you have a task set once a month, once every other week, that, hey, send them something valuable. Ask them if they have any other questions. Ask them if there's anything else that, they would be interested in. Not, again, being too pushy. There is a fine line with being too pushy and not having enough follow-up. And unfortunately, it's a very thin line. Sometimes you can't do enough follow-up, and other times you're doing too much follow-up.
Yeah, you got to follow up to make the money. You got to have a system, number 4, tools and platforms to organize your follow-up, to know what's my next step, what should I do, when should I do it. Ideally, you bring in your marketing team and have them do a little bit of automation with some of those follow-ups, ideally, if you can do it smart. It's not, you want to make it to where if you followed up before that automated thing happened, that they're not getting double follow-up. But you also have to make sure that you're trying different methods, right? Just emailing one way, follow up, no response. And what we do here is we'll email, we'll call, we'll send a text message, LinkedIn message. And then if Alex is stuck, then he throws it over the fence to me. And then from there, I usually try and just go straight to texting and cut it out. But I'll email somebody, hey, following up, Alex, let me know that it's been a while since you talked, looking for an update on this, X, Y, and Z. But that's like the manager help close type of thing. So he throws it to me and I try and go my route. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. They ignore me and then randomly they come back to him. So you just got to change it up. That's what it's all about. Your follow-up can't be stagnant of doing the same thing every time and the same frequency. Throw in a couple of differences, different methods of contact, and then you should be good to go.
Sometimes we go find their mom and help them make help them make the decision. Hey, no, just kidding.
No, but we
you
will
really do.
we will hunt your ass down at a trade show.
Yes.
That we know you're at.
We have done that before.
We've
as
done
well.
that before,
and now we have them as a client.
Yeah.
So.
All right, we're going to take a short break. Riley's going to try and show something cool. If you guys think it's cool, let me see those blue thumbs. Put a comment in the comment section if you think this video is cool. I'm sure it will be. We'll be right back.
This is what we waited for. Everything you want is right here. We gon' give them what they came for. We gon' take it up from last year.
All right, we're back. Any comments, questions? It's 3:11 on a Thursday, and we got a meeting in 20 and stuff to do before then. Let's see what we got.
Well, so far we don't have anything.
So far, we don't have anything, but on my feed, we've got Quasar Ahmed
I don't have that one.
said, "This sounds like an incredible opportunity to dive into industrial sales. Can't wait to learn from the best in the world, Riley and Alex."
Yeah, we're the best. See,
Yeah.
Kyle.
It doesn't even say that.
See, damn.
But not the
So you
best in
got
the
me
world.
and you got me and
What is
Riley
it?
excited,
It said me and you. And
Yeah.
you didn't say best in the world.
and Riley.
And Riley is the best. Mr. Drinkwater, do you got that comment? Our system sucks today. Our third-party system. Mr. Drinkwater, can't throw it up on the screen, said, "I'm not new to industrial, but new to sales." Winky face.
Now I just had a different question. Yeah, pop up.
And then Thomas Kelly says, "A year in outside." What's up, Thomas? Thanks for coming into the show. Then a bunch of my comments. Drinkwater, throw it up on the screen.
Tim Drinkwater has a question. If you're getting started and grinding, what metrics do you track?
Not the vanity ones. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter if you're starting or doing this forever, you got to look at output of the salesperson and then the return of what you're getting to determine is what you're having them do work. So you have to have some sort of strategy that says, hey, these are the people we want to go after. This is our target. We're going to go after them in these methods. You're going to do LinkedIn. Like, let's say you say to them, your LinkedIn network is very important. Alex said it. Number 5, networking skills. Build out the LinkedIn network. One metric to track for that is how many new connections do they have. Every single week, we still track it. I still track it. How many connections do we have every week? You better see that going up into the right direction. On the flip side of it, are you getting opportunities or people that say, hey, saw your stuff on LinkedIn? Because if people never said that to us, we would not be live on LinkedIn right now. Alex would not have over 4,000 connections. He wouldn't be out there grinding every day, sending messages, connection requests to people. He wouldn't be doing it because we would have proved that it didn't work. Same thing with videos. Everybody, I shouldn't say everybody, probably 50, 60% of the people come through our pipeline say, I've seen your videos somewhere.
Way more recently too. I would
Yeah.
say 80 or 70 to 80% now at this
Yeah.
point,
So-
because of how much we've been churning out this past year. So
Yeah, so we're finally starting to get a big enough presence to where 70, 80% of the people say, I've seen your video somewhere, whether it was YouTube, Google, LinkedIn, email that we sent them. They've seen something. And if I didn't have that, then we wouldn't have built a team just for our stuff, not to mention like our client stuff. We wouldn't be pushing videos for clients if videos didn't work. So determine the output of what you want the salesperson to do. You have to track and measure it, because if it's not measured, it's not managed. You have to look at the results from it on a monthly basis, quarterly basis, annual basis to see. Like if I told Alex, make 500 phone calls and I expect a deal to come from it, that would be ridiculous and unrealistic. Now, when he's made 1,500 or 2,000 and he doesn't talk to anybody, I'm going to say maybe this isn't the best path to go down. That's what I would say.
We've got a comment from Eduardo Rinaldi just saying, "Hi Kyle and team, thank you for the great content. Appreciate you guys."
Appreciate you, and your last name is almost like that soccer player, right? His
Which
last
one?
name is Ronaldo. Isn't it?
Ronaldo.
Ronaldo.
Oh, there's Ronaldo.
You're close, dude. You were like that far away from being a famous soccer player when you were
Almost.
born.
Almost.
Like when those cells got
Ronaldinho
together.
too. They got Ronaldinho.
Who's that?
He's older.
Oh,
Older than
okay.
Ronaldo, but hey,
Yeah.
it could be better.
He has a question now too. When joining
Why are we talking about his name? His question is, why are you talking about my name?
When joining a new company carrying lots of product lines, how would you structure your learning and get familiar with them before going out and talking to customers?
How would you structure your product knowledge to learn before you talk to new customers?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I personally, I wouldn't. I would just go out and start talking to people, but do it from the website, product brochures, talk to people that have been doing it. Like what's most important in that situation, Eduardo, is asking other salespeople or people that talk to potential customers, what are the top questions that you guys get asked? What are the frequently asked questions? Because then that'll start to shape what things you need to learn first. But if it's like quoting and product knowledge and spec sheets and all that stuff, like you should hopefully have a team of engineers, project engineers, or technical engineers that you can bring into the loop when you get technical like that. But I would just look at high level, basic, foundational knowledge and ask people what are the common questions that get asked. Like we're going to do it with the new salesperson. Is like, hey, this is typically what people want to know about. We're going to teach you this first. The rest you're going to learn half of it while you're on the job doing it. Right?
Yeah.
That's the way to do it. Thumbs up from Riley. So that means that it is time to bounce out. Guys, I appreciate you joining. If you're watching this on replay, be sure to head over to YouTube, subscribe, turn on notifications. Follow me, follow Alex on LinkedIn. If you guys are going to FabTech, I know there's not a ton of metalworking people in this right now, but FabTech, I think it's next week. We've got the king of FabTech, Doug Trout, on Talk Shop live with me, where he's like knows everything about FabTech. PMA is one of the biggest sponsors. He's there. He's gonna be doing a lot of stuff. So we're gonna be talking all FabTech next week. On what day is that? Wednesday or Thursday?
Thursday.
Next Thursday on the 5th, maybe. Thursday the 5th?
Yeah, that's right.
Thursday the 5th, I'm talking with Doug Trout live about FabTech. If you guys have questions about any sort of trade show stuff, pitching in trade shows, marketing, where you're going to get the most bang for your buck, that's what Doug and I are going to be covering. I'm going to be putting some pressure on him to get him to convince me that trade shows work as well as some people say. So that being said, we'll see you on the next one.
Have a good one, guys.